DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio A here at the DNVR Bar, where the A stands for Arizona, where the owners' meetings are going on right now. And the A could also stand for Payton, because Sean Payton spoke this morning and had some very interesting things to say. We're going to get to all of it, but first we're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Shout out to them. Once again, profitable on every single day of the tournament over the last 4 days. Just betting on underdogs. Never had to think about a bet once.
Nope. It's as simple as that.
It really
what are you
is.
Guys up? Plus 20?
23.5.
It's pretty great. I mean, because what? Now there's 3 games left. So we're guaranteed a 20-unit win.
Wow.
Pretty
incredible.
I mean, and what's funny is you could say, well, you could have just got a 20-unit win on Fairleigh Dickinson plus 2,000. But, like,
who would have done that?
Who would have made that their only bet of the whole tournament?
Exactly.
So there you go. It's been a blast. Shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook for teaching us about college basketball nirvana. All right. So Sean Payton, owners meetings, going down in Arizona. Zach, what do we need to know?
Well, first and foremost, in 24 hours, Sean Payton has tried to make it known that the Broncos are not interested in trading Jerry Jeudy or Courtland Sutton. Spoke with Tom Pelissero about it yesterday, then doubled down on it again today, saying, yeah, that's not something that we're interested in. And here's exactly what he said today. I would say a number of teams have called on those players, but I said it yesterday. That's not something we're interested in doing.
Is it we're or I'm?
It was weird.
Okay. Because someone tweeted it as I'm, and I was like, that is a cop-out.
That would be a good little way to weasel out. But yesterday, when talking about George Payton, the other guy, he said it's George's job to pick up the phone and say, hey, tell you what, we're not. So we've received calls, you bet. Those are 2 good football players, but we're in the business of gathering talent right now. Why do people call? Because they know we're void of draft picks and that we might, because there was some discussions a year ago, I think, regarding Courtland, but we like the current group that we're working with.
Yeah, and this all adds up, right? Because it just keeps coming out. The Broncos asking price haven't changed. The Broncos asking price hasn't changed. It's like, this is not news. It literally comes, it feels like it comes out once every 3 days. The Broncos are still asking for, and it's like, we know. That's the point. But it makes sense, right? If you were going to call the Broncos and say, hey, we want Jerry Jeudy, what do you want? You just say, first round pick. And if they say, well, let's talk, and you just say, no, we're not talking about this. And then they go back to, Tommy P or Jimmy Palm Trees, and they say, man, we called the Broncos, and they are steadfast about that first round pick for Jerry Jeudy, and then we get the report. Broncos are not changing their asking price on Jerry Jeudy. It's like a whole cycle. So good on the Broncos. I hope they never back down off of that asking price, and I hope they're telling the truth here when they say, we don't want to trade these guys, but if you want to pay what we would view as an overpay, sure, let's talk.
How could you not?
You're connecting a very big dot, though. You're saying that
I would say it would be I'm connecting several dots.
I would say there's just one.
You have to connect at least 2.
There's one. No, just one.
You can't connect one dot.
There's one dot in the middle. It depends on what you're doing. You're just building 2 lines with one dot in the middle.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm coming from me to a dot.
Way. Yeah, exactly. That dot is that the Broncos are willing to trade these guys at the right price, because that's not what Sean Payton is saying. He says, no, we're just simply not open to it at all. I'm with you, though, Ryan. I do think that they would be willing to trade, because it's funny. Right after that Tommy Peep report comes out yesterday, you have Mike Kliss say, yep, this is exactly what I'm hearing, which means no trade, they're not interested in trading. And then the very next line, Kliss says, they would be willing to trade for a first-round pick for Jeudy or a second-round pick for Courtland.
There's a price tag for anybody. Well, minus like 6 guys.
And anything.
Minus like 6 things.
Yeah, like...
You're not buying Augusta National. Doesn't matter how much money you have. Like, there's just a few things.
You could.
I don't think so. It's the same thing where it's like, what if you gave 100 first-round picks for Mahomes?
Well,
I think they say no. And I should have, again, why didn't I say Josh Allen? I don't know. That was really dumb. I started the whole thing again.
But the most you could potentially trade would be... You could trade 64 first-round picks for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And could you imagine trying to accumulate that?
It's like, hey, Chiefs, like we'll give you Jerry Jeudy for a first. Okay, now we got there first. We can throw that in the package too.
No, you could trade 96.
Oh, you can go 3 years out?
3 years out.
Oh, yeah.
96 first round picks. So you were close, Henry, 100 picks.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
The point is, basically,
Would they
everybody has
take
a place. Wow.
That is wild. Yeah, I think they would. You could have every player for the next 3 years.
In the first round.
Yes.
The best 32 players out of college every year for the next 3 years.
You
Wow.
would be cutting like 10 first rounders a year.
Or trading. You'd probably be trading.
Right.
Yeah.
You would be trading.
How fun would
and then
that be to just operate that?
Imagine
Yeah.
if you get your quarterback in that first year, and then the next year there's another good quarterback that's coming out. You trade him for
4 first round
Yeah,
picks.
exactly. Well, then you get to the point where all their contracts start coming up. You're like, well, 5th-year options, we can't pick up all of them. And so then you got to trade at least like 2/3.
boy. You better win early.
It would be really
Well, you got to win in the middle because it's going to take like a year or two.
for them to
Right,
get good.
but like on the
so
early
you
side,
have like a
yeah.
two
Yeah.
win or 2
That
years
would
of
be
a crazy
something.
window.
Wow.
The point is though, basically everybody has a price tag.
Yes.
And Jerry Jeudy's one of them. And I
Even
think,
Pat Surtain, I think, has a price tag.
yeah, he does. 96 first would do it. With 50, with 40, with the, like, it's not that high. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's the point.
4 would
and
get
it's-
it done for sure.
It would have to.
3 would get it done for
Three
sure.
3 would probably get it
yeah.
done.
No, 3 would for sure get it done. I think
I mean-
2.
Didn't Jamal Adams get 3? Or was
Two.
that
Yeah.
2?
2. Yeah.
I think
2 in a second or something?
because the Jalen Ramsey, that was 2 firsts and like a third, right?
Right.
And maybe they included like a 5th back. So it'd be somewhere around there. 3 you're probably getting it done. But yeah, it goes back to the same thing we've kind of been talking about where me and RK have basically been on the don't trade Jerry side, which is give me a top 20 pick for him because that you just can't say no to. And Zach has kind of been on the you're not getting a first round pick for Jerry. That's unrealistic. And it all does kind of line up to the same thing, which is the Broncos don't want to trade Jerry. If somebody does something crazy, do they just trade Jerry?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
It's not Broncos news, but my God, man. Embiid is dodging Jokic again.
He's not playing.
He's not playing tonight?
He is not playing tonight.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is weak.
Interesting. Thank goodness I didn't buy tickets yet.
To have the, I mean, he's not in control of when the Athletic article drops, but to have the like Jokic slander Athletic article drop this morning and then him dodge Jokic tonight is insane, bro.
He played
Sorry,
the last
I don't
time,
want to
though,
derail
right?
us. We were having a good conversation.
He played the last time.
He hasn't played Jokic in Denver since
Denver.
2019.
Okay, in Denver. Yep. Well, I mean, it makes sense for him.
I don't know.
No, he's going to lose the MVP now.
I think
Embiid?
so.
Yep.
We'll use it? Really?
He was
I
a
think so.
minus 150 favorite.
Yep.
I think dodging this one. What? I mean, I'd guess that tomorrow morning he's
think that's-
minus 110.
I think it's just a Nuggets view. I think it's just a Denver sort of mindset there.
I don't know because I
you
came in
can't-
today.
I agree.
played on
It's so weak. It's
He's
so
been
weak.
questionable
I think it
every game for
matters.
the last 5 games, and he's played them all.
This is the
Wow.
NBA that like it's all about the storylines. Like that's all it is just the storylines, and all the reporters are going to be all over it. All of a sudden, this combined with what he said last night, it's going to get toxic. Because I
And that
came in
doesn't
today.
add up. Kellen says he got injured against the Bulls. He literally said in an article that dropped this morning that I could have stayed in and padded my stats if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the padding stats was referring
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Well, we'll leave the Nuggets crew to talk about
It is
this.
pretty
I'm going to get
crazy.
some tweets off for sure.
I know. I already got one. I'm saving the rest for later, though. One more thing. I thought that like if Nikola put up 40 and they won convincingly and Embiid had like 20, I felt that Jokic is probably like plus 110 tomorrow morning. I wonder where that falls now with him just not playing.
Yeah, I
If the
unfortunately
Nuggets
don't
win
think
tonight
it's
and
gonna help.
Jokic goes off, it's going to flip the odds.
I think so.
Mark my words. You might as well get your bet in now.
Okay, I like it. I mean, I think you're wrong, but I hope you're right. And the Nuggets now will win. They were 5-point favorites before that news came out. But back to Broncos. So not much has changed then after hearing this news in your mind. It's kind of where you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think this is the Broncos drew their line in the sand. They should stay, on their side, not budge at all. That's what's happening. If you want, like I said, if you want to pay them more than they believe these guys are worth, they'll accept. If you're not, they're not willing to negotiate.
Yeah.
So help me navigate this part then. Here's Sean talking about it again. He said, obviously in the offseason, everyone wants to be on top of any transaction. I understand that. It'll continue, I'm sure, as we get closer to the draft. I think that's very interesting. He's saying the trade speculation for these guys is going to continue. We'll get back to that. But he said, if you really look at the draft and you look at the receiver depth in the draft, it's not a real deep draft. So if you're a team that's looking for receivers, we're not the only team people call. I'm sure Houston with Brandon Cooks, other players like that, it's pretty common in the offseason, I think. Okay, so that part of I'm sure it'll continue as we get closer to the draft. Why? If they're answering the phone and saying, as he said, George is saying, no, we're not trading those guys. Sean comes out yesterday, tells a national guy. Sean comes out today, tells local Denver media in Arizona that we're not trading these guys. Then why would trade speculation continue for another month?
I think it's just because every 3 days there's been a reason to keep calling. And I think that the Broncos have probably said the exact same thing that Sean Payton has said the last couple days. It's like, we don't want to trade him. Overpay. Give us a first if you want him. But again, it's like, oh, we heard you guys were in on Alan Lazard. Like, didn't get him. Like, are you guys trying to shake him up? Like, just want to make sure you still don't want to, like, move Jerry and Court. And so they call then. And it's like, oh, you guys are in on Adam Thielen? Like, you're trying to clear space? Like, and then, so it's every 3 days. There's something and something. That's just going to keep happening, I think. And I think that's why people just keep calling.
But the Alan Lazards, the Adam Thielens of the world are no longer available. So I think here it's just important to, I guess, see their actions instead of listening to what they're saying. I do think the Broncos are being very clear. We want a first-round pick for Jeudy, second-round pick for Sutton. I think that Sean saying that it's going to continue is saying that, yeah, we're a little more open to it than I'm saying with my words right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's clear. They're willing to do it, just not at any less price than what they expect.
And then one more thing that Sean said. I don't have the exact quote, but he said, you guys challenging the media. He said, you guys do your homework. You can figure out why these rumors started. What is he referring to? It was as vague as that. And I was like,
I'm glad my teachers never told me to do my homework vaguely, so I had to guess what.
Okay, I'll go home and do homework.
I was like,
read the textbook.
I'll just write something.
I don't know. The first thing that popped in my mind was like, the Chiefs want the Broncos to trade Jerry Jeudy out of the division, so they started these rumors or something. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Why would these rumors just start?
I don't know, man. We got to get better at our homework. No one loves reading between the lines more than me, and I don't have anything for this.
Yeah, this is, we're not simply able to connect two dots here, or one dot. This is much more than that, Sean.
Yeah, it is all weird. I mean, that's the point of it all, is that nobody has any idea because it's back there. I don't know. I don't know who would have started all of it.
Yeah, I don't either.
It just confuses me.
It's very bizarre.
I mean, the best I can come up with is teams want them to trade him.
Teams want the price to go down, maybe?
But that would make I don't know.
What if somebody really wants him? And so there's like, okay, we're just going to keep calling so we can keep saying they haven't moved their price. So the reports keep coming. And then they start posting cryptic things on the internet because they're upset.
We're going to piss off Courtland and
We're going to make
Jeudy.
them angry.
Damn, that's genius. Even if that's not true, to make it seem like that, so then Sean Payton can be like, dude, I'm not trying to trade you. They're trying to think that I'm trying to trade you.
Yep. Really smart. Yeah, here?
What if it's just Jerry Jeudy's agent? Because he's about to come up on his fifth year option, trying to see if he can start leverage this year for next year's contract negotiations.
But what would that have to do with a trade?
That he wants to trade if he doesn't get a contract. Like, it's just leverage at this point. See how many people are interested in him.
I see what you're saying. Jerry could just ask for a trade if he doesn't get a contract, though. But I guess that could make him seem like the bad guy if he wants. Obviously, we saw 17 days ago, Courtland Sutton tweet, I want to be somewhere where I'm appreciated and valued.
True.
Then yesterday, we see Courtland Sutton put out an Instagram of him and Jerry Jeudy celebrating, it appears, after a touchdown. He tags Jerry in it, and it says, up and it's stuck, with 2 exclamation marks. And boy, was this the most confusing thing to tweet, because I guess, depending on who you ask, this could mean a good thing or it could mean a bad thing. So, I mean, what a way for Courtland to, I don't know if it's intentional throwing everyone off, or if he meant it in a good way and just people aren't understanding. He meant it in a bad way, people aren't understanding, but boy.
Yeah, I've seen some commercials that say if it's up and it's stuck for more than 4 hours, you should see a doctor.
It's true. It reminds me of one of those things that, like...
It reminds you of yourself?
No, it doesn't remind me of myself. It reminds me of covering CU when you're just like, oh, this 17-year-old just posted something that is a phrase that I don't understand. And, like, it used to happen all the time where it's like, the cap thing was confusing. All of them start saying cap, and then you slowly, like, you Google it. In the NFL, like, what, Courtland Sutton is 18 months older than me? I should be on the same page.
Yeah.
I should
You're
be
really
able to
letting us down,
understand the
Henry.
lingo.
Yeah.
But
you don't
no.
understand the lingo because you guys come from 2 different places. I know what he meant immediately when I saw
And
that.
That's true. But I'm still up on things.
So you hear, tell us, because you're the first one that told me what it meant from your side. What does it mean when you see that?
That it's
Please tell me your microphone is on.
it's not working. Oh, I don't know. It might be working now. Actually,
If it's not working, don't talk.
if you never work and you're still talking.
Wow.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make
That doesn't
any
make sense. Hit your
No, that
buttons.
wasn't a good burn.
Wow, it's
Oh.
up and it's stuck right here, I'll say.
So it just means basically that it's like once you like it's up, like hey, what's up? Like you got beef, what's up? And it's stuck. It's the beef is still there because the beef is stuck now.
See, Quentin in the comments is saying it means that he's happy and ready to go.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. What a confusing
So
thing.
it's actually a Cardi B song, which was referring to all this beef that she had going on with Nicki Minaj. It's up and it's stuck.
All right.
That's what it's all about.
I mean, it is, and it comes just an hour or two after Sean's comments yesterday. And so, if you want to be positive and optimistic about it, you view it and say, he's celebrating with Jerry. They're both wearing Broncos jerseys in this picture. And he's saying, like, it's all happy. We're ready to go. Okay, Courtland's in again after that tweet where he was a little upset a couple of weeks ago. You're like, yes, let's go. Or you look at it and you say, Courtland is directly responding to Sean Payton saying, this beef is still here, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's up for interpretation. And I believe you here, but there's
Yeah.
so many other people out there saying other stuff that I'm
Yeah.
like, well, now I just need to know which way Courtland Sutton sees it.
yes.
Because, like, we up is a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Well, then you get into Tim Patrick.
Oh, what did Timmy Pat
He
Pat?
posted the picture, which I just remembered was a picture I took. I think I took that picture.
Nice.
Wow.
I got to go back to. I got to check the tapes. That didn't come up because I remember that being a thing before during training camp. Point is, it's the 4 receivers, KJ with the big 3, and he just said The Last Dance.
Oh,
Wow.
So there's another one.
but he's under contract for another 2 years.
2 years. Courtland another 2.
2 years.
And Jerry another 2 if they pick up his 5th-year option.
I mean, but KJ expires after this year, and we've talked about it before. I mean, the fact that you're going to pay those 3 receivers in particular, what, like 17 plus 13 plus 14?
Yeah.
So that's like 54. Let's call it $55 million next year for 3 receivers who,
Change.
I mean, they have one combined 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
It does make sense for them to make a change. I thought makes sense for them to do it after next season, but I don't know why they would think that.
I don't know. There was a recruit in Boulder, and people reported that he was in Boulder, and then he posted on his Instagram that he was in Florida, where he's from, and he said, y'all trim. Had to learn what that meant, which was just a trimmed down version of y'all tripping.
Oh.
But then it turned out he actually was in Boulder.
Oh.
So, yeah, this is
He was
the
really
world.
throwing someone off their scent.
He really was. He was,
Wow.
and then he committed. So
Oh, okay. So it
go
all worked
Buffs.
out. Wait, was that recent?
that was Cormani McLean, number 1 corner
okay.
in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Lot of drama out there surrounding the wide receivers. Also, is Sean Payton setting the stage for drama in the quarterback room? Maybe. And he said something today that we got to get into.
Let's go.
But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR, and has been for what, 4 years?
Yes.
I mean, a long time. They're a
Longer
partner
than
for
that.
life. We've locked it up with them, and in fact, we've got some Breckenridge beers. In fact, some Avalanche Amber Ale on set right now. And if you want the best amber beer, this is it right here. If you dig ambers, check out our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. It's Avalanche season, literally Colorado Avalanche season. And today, snow outside, it's definitely Avalanche Amber Ale season. So check them out. If you want to get in on the Avalanche, go to breckbrew.com. Not only can you find where you can find Breck Brews, but you can look at specific beers at that Breck Beer locator. So check them out, breckbrew.com. Get yourself some beer.
I'm over Avalanche season for what it's worth. I like an Avalanche Ale, but I'm ready for Strawberry Sky season.
Oh, boy.
Me too. Boy, we snow today. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, and cold.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes it snows here and
Legitimately
it's not cold.
Yeah.
I mentioned this before, but me and some friends are going to the game tonight. We're like, should we buy tickets? Are they going to drop? Obviously, now they're going to drop. But there was like a 15% chance the snow was going to come back today. It's like, oh, if it snows again, everybody's going to be selling their tickets.
Yeah.
And I wish this was a game time read. But if you are not going to the game, order some Jive Hive because they will just
Or if you
come
are.
straight to your door. Or if you're going to the game. I don't know if they deliver to Ball Arena. You just have to get pre-delivered and then go.
Yeah, they'll do some pregame.
Pregame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no matter where you're watching the Nuggets, it will be more fun if you hit up Jive Hive, which is an awesome place I guess it's not even a place. Your place is the awesome place where they deliver weed to you. It's convenient, low prices because they don't have to pay, bud tenders, that sort of thing. They don't have the brick and mortar shops. It's private, all that sort of stuff. So go to jivehyve.com. You can order a delivery for the same day. You can also schedule a delivery window. They serve Aurora, Greenwood Village, I forgot we're not in England, Monument, Fountain, and various areas of El Paso County.
Good job.
Jive Hive. Yeah, so I haven't done that one in a while. I realized like halfway through.
Shout out Jive Hive. God, I can't stop thinking about Embiid dodging Joker tonight.
I've just been watching those odds fall. It's been
Already?
incredible.
MVP odds?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Embiid has gone from -150 to -130.
Just
Other-
since
In the
that
past
news dropped.
15 minutes.
Yeah. Other sports books I've heard have been a little bit more aggressive. But I gave that ope one in the middle of one of your sentences. That was Jokic from +140, +135.
Try to
It
tell
just
you.
keeps happening, just
My
keeps dropping, keeps
goodness.
dropping.
You can't dodge these matchups
You
and be the
can't.
most valuable player.
You can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You-
Okay. I'm wrong. I hope I'm
The
wrong.
last time Embiid played Joker in Denver, like seeing someone wear a mask in public was weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like you would have been like,
That's
oh,
crazy.
God, keep me away from that guy. And now it's like, oh, maybe only guy I want to be around.
Wow. That's wild.
It is crazy.
Ryan, I don't think I've ever seen you this distracted.
I know. I'm
Like I can tell you're eaten up by this.
I can't believe this happened. Like, I just thought, like, all right, to Joel's credit, he torched us last time.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, he's gotta cherish this opportunity. And if he did the same thing tonight, I would have thrown my hands up and said, like, there you go.
Wow.
Like, what can we say?
Yep.
Now it's kind of like the guy who doesn't want to run the 40 at the combine because he can only hurt his stock.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, well, if I don't play him, then I want to know against him this year.
Yep.
Yep.
And that is like an incredibly soft approach.
It's very weak. And I mean, this kind of
And I think he's already on pace to play less than 70 games, which he would be the first, if he won, the first MVP ever to play less than 70 games. And you're going to miss this one?
wow, that's a good stat for the national media.
And then you even go to like the MVP tracker, which is like the basketball reference. Like they take the stats of every MVP in history and like weight it toward the more recent one so it's more accurate and then predicts who is most likely to win MVP. Like Jokic still has a 65% chance. Like in any other year, if not for the fact he'd won the last two, he would be the MVP. And so you have like kind of the narrative on the other side for Embiid, which he just tanked. He just totally tanked it today. And I wonder how far that's gonna drop him.
Insane.
Makes me
Insane.
very
Sorry,
happy.
I'm trying to move on. Speaking about it, I think is helping.
Am I still going to the game tonight? Is a question that I will answer with my friends
Probably
later.
for a lot cheaper.
I know, that's the thing.
Ryan, I have something that'll get you back on track.
All right, let's do it.
Jarrett Stidham. We talked about this last week. Could Jarrett Stidham be more than just the Broncos' backup quarterback? Sean Payton definitely thinks so. When talking about Jarrett Stidham, he said, quote, "We feel like he can be a starter in our league," and also said he was, quote, "a quietly important signing." I mean, it's pretty big right there. And
Yeah.
take on top the actions, not just the words. The actions were he was their second signing of free agency. They signed him within the first hour free agency started.
Now, why would he say that? In the words of Brian Windhorse. Why would he say that? Because how many years is Russell Wilson under contract for the Denver Broncos?
The next eternity.
Yes. Why are we talking about
his contract extension hasn't even kicked in.
He might be playing in the new stadium.
Russ or Jarrett?
Russ. He might be playing in the new stadium. There's a chance.
Like, so why are we talking about a guy who could be a starter in this league unless the obvious, which is Sean Payton is not sold on Russell Wilson? Now, we've known that for a while now, but it's like every opportunity he gets to move himself off of Russell Wilson, he takes it.
Exactly. And speaking of Russell Wilson, he talked more highly of Jarrett Stidham today than Russell Wilson. When he was asked about Russ, he said, he's someone that I think works extremely hard. It's hard to find guys with all of those traits, and then just went on about how last season was a disaster for not only Russ, but the coaching staff. And then he had the quote about how it was hard to watch the film last year. So that, I mean,
bro, you're telling us.
Yeah, seriously, we had to sit through. We didn't get to fast forward. We had to sit through everything.
Twice.
But so when asked about Russ, he says he's a hard worker. He's talented. Yeah, we know that. That's like the most basic stuff you can say. And then he moves off of it. With Jarrett Stidham, it's, yeah, this was a really important signing for us. And then also he can be a starter in this league. And then he pointed to, the game against the 49ers, which he had really good tape in and threw for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he gushed more about the backup quarterback than the starter.
Yeah, and it wasn't just he can be. It was we believe he can be, right?
Right.
Because Jose is saying in the comments he can be a starter in this league. He said about every backup QB. I don't think that's the truth.
Nobody ever said that about Brett Rippon.
No.
I'll throw that out there. I'll just say, I didn't listen to every word ever said about Brett Rippon, but I bet that's what was said.
And
especially not when they signed him as a free agent.
And
like maybe before he's starting a game for the
yeah.
team, you're like, we believe Brett has what it takes to be a starter in this league because you're trying to pump him up. But when you got him as an undrafted free agent, you weren't saying, yeah, we believe he could be a starter, especially if you already have who is supposed to be a franchise quarterback. Again, the Russell Wilson situation is so unique because he is supposed to be your franchise quarterback. He's being certainly paid like your franchise quarterback. And he basically looked like Brett Rippon last season. So it creates this odd thing where everything you say is going to be put under a microscope. Because if, let's see, with Tom Brady in New England, and this even did cause strife, but if they said, yeah, we drafted Jimmy Garoppolo, we believe he can be a starter in this league one day, like that is noteworthy. And I think they did say stuff like that. And that pissed Tom off to the point where he said, get this guy the F out of here.
Yeah.
So it's another step in a long line of Sean Payton just taking Russell Wilson and saying, that ain't me.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily love it.
I think the ideal situation for this season is Russ comes back. He's incredible. Everybody's like, oh, thank goodness we have him under contract for as long as any of us can see into the future. But he also misses 4 games for some very minor thing. And Jarrett Stidham comes in and he just is on fire. He's putting up 350 a game, doesn't throw a pick in the entire stretch. After the season, everybody's like, oh, we need a quarterback. This guy's under contract for $6 million next year, maybe $5 million, depending on how the contract works out. Hey, Broncos, we'll give you a second for him. Let's get Jarrett Stidham in our building. That would be ideal.
If he's that good, aren't you saying, well, let's keep Jarrett Stidham and let's sign to a contract extension right now for $20 million a year for the next 4 years and trade Russell Wilson, get his contract not only off, but if Russ plays well, incredible, you get first-round pick for him.
The thing, though, is if you trade Russ, you're still stuck with your $80 million at least in cap.
Yeah, but if you have a cheap quarterback, you can get away with that.
And then it's only 1 year.
Yeah, you can find a way. I mean,
I think
that would be rough.
The situation that you laid out, I think Sean Payton is more likely to go with his guy being Jarrett Stidham.
It's just so tough because there's so much dead money. But I mean, that would mean that you would be trading Russ essentially on a 3-year, $27 million contract. And if he's that good, you probably are getting first-round picks. You just also have to eat the $80 million. Maybe it drops to 65.
But
if
now
you trade
you're
him.
Talking false positives with Jarrett Stidham. God, I hate this cycle.
Well, and you know what? Sean Payton says to the cap. He says that's the cap. I don't care about the cap. So he probably wouldn't care about dead
Cap
money.
is cap.
Cap is cap.
And see, I don't even know what that means.
We should make a shirt.
Really?
You know what we need?
I thought
You haven't figured out what cap is yet?
Well, I thought cap was like a good thing. Like it's like I agree.
Oh
It's-
no,
that
the
means
opposite.
lie.
Of that. It's
Opposite,
bullshit.
right? Yeah.
I mean, that's bullshit.
Exactly. So what we need to do is get Sean Payton to say the cap is cap, and then have them actually trade Russ so that we can make a shirt that says the cap is cap, just like was
Ooh.
his phrase. And look at what they're doing.
Yes.
Wow. Very
That's
confused.
another piece of the dream scenario. That's like final step.
Someone says, Sports Geek comes in the comments and says, you guys have a lot of faith in Stidham.
No,
No.
This
we
isn't
don't.
us.
No.
This is Sean Payton. And Jose says, boy, Zach's liking all these quotes. These are what Sean Payton is saying. He's
The head coach of the Denver
team.
Broncos.
That's why we think it's important.
I know,
Yeah.
but they don't like when we talk about Jeudy being traded for the 5th time in 3 weeks. They don't like Jarrett Stidham Day. Today's quote day. We actually have something real to talk about.
Yeah.
And also, what's note about this quote specifically, but all of these quotes from today, is this is the first time that Sean Payton has talked since free agency
Yeah.
started, since the combine, since the Broncos hired a lot of these coaches. So today is very notable with what
Oh,
he's
yeah.
saying.
September 30th, 2020, Vic Fangio said that Brett Rippon deserved a chance to see what he can do as a starter. Was that right before he started against the Jets?
It would have been. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, and that is different than we think he can be a starter in this league. That is very
What?
close.
No, it's not.
It's close.
This is also March compared to 4 days before he's starting due to someone else's injury.
Yes. And again, those aren't close. When a guy is on the team and he has to step up, yeah, he deserves his chance to see what he can do. When the starting quarterback is fully healthy, he doesn't deserve the chance.
Yeah, 100%. And Parker in the comments says, is he trying to light a fire under Russ?
No.
You don't think so?
I
I think he's trying to make Russ feel uncomfortable.
I think
with
he's
his
trying to
job.
set himself up so when Russell Wilson sucks again,
He's
he
also
can say,
doing that.
"Hey, look,
Yeah.
I didn't. He's not my guy."
that could be
that's
it.
true as
We
well.
did also. I think we're all on the same page. You come in this offseason saying like you got to light a fire under Russ. Like you
Yes.
got to get him working, do all that stuff. And this would do that. Like it may not be what he's thinking, but it will, in theory, be like.
I'll be
go
honest.
to the gym.
I don't blame Sean Payton for doing this, but it worries me.
Sure. Yeah.
with Russ.
Oh, it's just moving it. Okay. I thought things were falling, but it was just a ladder moving. It worries me about Russ that Sean Payton doesn't want to latch on to him at all. Like when Sean Payton took this job, there was a little piece of me that was like hopeful that he would say Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in this league, and last year it was a complete anomaly, and I cannot wait to see what he can do in my offense. Like, if he said that, I would be exponentially more fired up about the Broncos than I am right now.
really
But
good point.
I don't blame him for doing what he's doing.
Right.
But it just tells me that in his mind, he thinks there's a chance that Russ is cooked.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
That is that thought is in everybody's mind.
For
it may
sure.
not be like the predominant thought, but that is in everybody's mind. I wonder if Russ even thinks that. I don't think
no,
so.
Russ doesn't. No.
But I mean, we're getting to the point where at some point I wonder if he did think, "Oh no, do I not have it anymore?"
I don't think so.
For better,
I don't think
for,
so either.
For better or for
He's
worse,
close, though.
he doesn't let those thoughts enter his mind.
Or he's really good at getting them out quickly.
Yeah.
Hopefully Russ is good. But again, I mean, this is I brought up before, like Bill Parcells' coaching tree. There is no, we love this guy. Like he's gonna come through it. It's no, that bastard needs to get better. Like that is the whole
Who
like
did he
hard.
say that about?
I don't think that's a direct quote, but that's like
would've been
the
wild.
entire like Bill Parcells way of interacting with players. Again, who still does that? The two people in the coaching tree, Bill Belichick and Sean Payton. And they're not players coaches. They're not trying to be friends with the players, which almost makes it weirder. They're saying what they're saying about Jarrett Stidham. But with Russell Wilson, it does make sense that he's pretty blunt and says, if you're not going to play well, we need to have somebody capable of playing well.
And speaking of being blunt, he is being extremely blunt, not just with Russell Wilson, but the offense and special teams. He said this today. He said, quote, "It sounds like I'm being critical of the offense and special teams, and I am."
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm so sick of the Broncos special teams sucking.
it's the worst. And did you hear his big time shot at Corliss Waitman? He said our kicking game really needed to improve. So I thought that was kind of a shot at McManus, which I think it probably was at McManus and the kicking unit. And said But
do you think he thinks that McManus is a top 16 player on the team?
No.
We should get him to make some rankings. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
That
He
would
would
actually-
have none of that.
I don't know. He
can guarantee
appreciates
ya.
content.
That's true. He does appreciate content. But he said, I didn't bring all these special teams guys here and point to the special teams coordinator, the assistant special teams guy, and then, of course, Mike Westhoff, the Hoff, and said, I didn't bring these guys here to not have the right punter and not have the right holder.
Holder.
So he's
Yeah.
talking
He
about
might
the
be
punter.
bailing out
He's talking
McManus.
about the punter there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he might be bailing out McManus, but I mean, geez, what a shot at Corliss. You just cut him.
I know.
His job is just gone, although the Patriots picked him up, but I mean, that's a tough boot on the way out.
But I mean,
Patriots love left-footed kickers.
They
we
do.
we did see the laces the wrong way and then heard all about it on Twitter.
Yep, that's
I mean-
true.
Oh, I forgot he threw Corliss under the
Yeah.
bus.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the laces were the wrong way.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
that is. There's one that isn't McManus's fault. And again, kicking game, how much of it is McManus, how much of it is Waitman, how much of it is the blocking or even the way they scheme or teach the blocking when they're getting hands on balls. I have no clue. I'm not a special teams coach, but doesn't it get better? Also, the special teams thing, this is kind of random, but it reminds me of the average starting field position for the Cardinals last year was the league worst. Defensively, like they're starting so far, and the distance between them and second place was the same as the distance between second and 17th. So again, Vance Joseph defensive numbers not good. Starting field position was that crazy bad, but it does make a difference. Is the point?
Man, interesting. I like Sean Payton being critical of those areas.
Yeah,
I do too.
You know, it kind of reminds me of like, it's a very different style, but Coach Prime coming in and saying like, if you don't want to be here, you know, hit that portal, because it's just like things have to change
Yeah.
massively. And so you can't come in and be the whole like, oh, we're just restocking the cabinets, like we're ready to go. Like someone needs to come in and be like, this shit sucks. I'm gonna fix it. Get on board or get out.
Yep.
And I appreciate that Sean Payton is taking that approach.
Yep.
And I, like I said, I understand why he is distancing himself from Russell Wilson, because it's a bad place to be.
I think he's also kind of distancing himself from this coming year as well, in terms of saying, don't put this entire first year on me. I'm taking over a miserable offensive situation, a miserable special team situation. And then when asked about expectations today and what needs to happen, he said, we haven't even had OTAs. We haven't even met together as a team yet. We are so far away from doing that. I'm not putting expectations on this team. And I think he's seeing clearly he's heard a lot of the outside noise. And people are just like me. I'm saying this needs to be a winning team. You know, playoffs should be in the picture for this team. And he's probably saying, whoa. This is a mess right now. Let me just get things turned around, and then we'll make that big push.
Totally. And again, it's one of those things where the fans and the media really disconnect from the players and coaches, because Sean Payton isn't sitting around thinking, I wonder how good we can be. Like, I wonder what our ceiling is. Like, what's our floor? Like, how many games can we, like, that's what we all say, because we're like, oh, is this going to be a good year, bad year? For them, the entire process is just how we need to get better. Where do we need to get better? And all the brain power is just in evaluating your weaknesses and fixing them. You know, it's not, where does this leave us? What are the chances we make the playoffs? You know, that's what everyone on the outside does. And so when we say, what do you think the expectations are going to be or should be? It's like, we are nowhere near that. We just know that our pass rush sucks and we need to get a better pass rush. So we're going to go hire whatever guy from LSU to fix that.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it. I like the approach. What else did Sean Payton say that we should get to?
Something that will pique your interest, Ryan, and something you disagree with. He talked about Lloyd Cushenberry and said, we feel that Lloyd certainly is going to benefit from these additions, talking about Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey. Quote, we see him as our starting center.
Yeah. That's a thing you can do. Now, I will say this. It is possible that putting two really good guards on each side of Lloyd Cushenberry ends up helping him exponentially.
Yep.
And he has showed flashes in pass protection. But it doesn't add up to me with all the other moves that you're making, which is to run the ball more. And he struggles so mightily in run blocking. And I personally think, I wrote it yesterday in the roundtable, his best games, he's average to slightly above average at the position. In his worst games, he is a liability on the offense. So I hope that they replace him. But if not, I hope that their kind of blind faith here in the fact that you're going to have Ben Powers on one side and a healthy Quinn Miners on the other side elevates Lloyd Cushenberry.
And there's a real chance that they say, yeah, we see him as our starting center. And the draft comes around and they say, oh, who's the best player on the board? Oh, it's this center. And so we're picking a third round center, which is where, I mean, you don't see centers go before the second round. Very few even go in the second round. It's like, wow, there's a starting player still on the board, a guy who would start for us. How could we not take him? And all of a sudden, we're going down a totally different road.
I think the center position is criminally underrated.
Because it's the brains of the offensive line.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. It's center, running back, and linebacker that everyone essentially says you can find these guys anywhere.
Yep.
And then you look at great teams, and all of them have ballers at that position. And it's just like, this doesn't equate. Like, sure, are there a lot of people at this position, and can you find a good running back in the 5th round? Sure. But just like go, like, of course, quarterback is everything. But just look at like the Eagles last year. They had the best center in the league. They had a great running game, which again, Miles Sanders, what, 2nd or 3rd round pick?
Second,
Yeah.
2nd round pick,
which
is a high investment for a running back.
Yep.
And at linebacker, they had TJ Edwards, who just got a massive
to be
paycheck.
sick.
Yeah. And it's just like, everyone always wants to say that these positions, like people are like center, some people argue center is the least important position on the offensive line. Just doesn't add up with good teams. Creed Humphrey for the Chiefs, beast. Like all the good teams have great players at these positions. So while yes, I get it, you can find them in different areas. If you don't find them, you're in trouble.
Yep.
George Payton just told people in Arizona that the Broncos are more likely to trade down in the draft, not up in the draft, because of their lack of capital. So if you want to get a starter, good luck.
Which, I mean, kind of makes sense.
Down.
Because again, like you're bringing in 5 rookies as it stands right now. That's such a small class. Last year, another small class. I understand how you could make the argument like, let's just go get a starter. We'll trade 3 of those picks to get into the top of the 2nd, the bottom of the 3rd, or bottom of the 1st, or whatever. You just need cost control talent, and then you throw in the fact that his whole philosophy is more darts is better. That probably makes more sense, especially when you have back-to-back picks. Like the odds of you saying like, oh wow, there's 2 steals still on our board. 2 guys we don't think we like, that just seems kind of slim. Chances are there's 1. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I do think one of those 2 picks is a center.
One more thing from today. Sean Payton said that the Broncos did offer a contract to Draymond Jones during the season last year. That was all he said about it. But interesting. We did not know that.
No, I'm not super surprised though. Like, it would make sense to offer him an extension. I'm just really curious what the number is, because there's a chance they offered it after he had 5.5 sacks through 7 games, and or
maybe it's 8 million or something.
Was it like 18 million? It's like,
What did
hey,
he
we'll
end up
just
getting?
You got
16.25, 16.75,
Okay.
something right around there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was right around there.
The question would
slightly
be,
more than
was
Zach
it
Allen.
more than that?
right.
Exactly. And I mean, depending on if it was offered after he got his 5.5 sack or whatever, 5.5 sack, then I would guess that it probably was more. And he probably really regrets it. Any other time he'd say like, yeah, it's probably right around there, maybe even less.
Especially just a 3-year deal with only 2 years guaranteed.
All things created equal, I would trade Draymond Jones for Zach Allen straight up.
So you would take Draymond Jones?
No.
Oh,
I'm saying, the Broncos ended up better off.
I think so too.
I'm getting there. You just want to... Draymond's just so much more proven as a pass rusher. And really just more proven in general. If Zach Allen plays like he did last year, there's a good chance he's better than Draymond, though.
I just think he's had 2 good seasons.
I think he affects the game in more ways.
It's true, but the passing game is just more valuable.
Yeah.
You know who?
But like I said, each batted ball is worth at least a half sack to me.
True. But I mean, what? Draymond has 3 years with 5.5 sacks, which was Zach Allen's best, which was last year.
Yeah, but is 5.5 sacks a good season for a pass rusher?
For interior, I mean, it's solid. Yes, it is a good year. It's not getting you to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know who's going to impact tonight's game more?
The guy on the floor.
Jokic.
Or Embiid. Jokic, easy. And if you want to get in on that, check out our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code DNVR when you sign up. They're going to turn a $5 bet into $200 in bonus bets. All you have to do is place a $5 bet on anything, and they're going to hit you with $200 in bonus bets in your account right away. So check them out at DraftKings Sportsbook. And right now, guys, the line's only gone down 2 points. The Nuggets are only 7-point favorites at home against the 76ers before Embiid was out. They were 5-point favorites. That's got to be some good odds if you think the Nuggets are going to take care of business tonight. So check out DraftKings. Check out the Nuggets against the 76ers tonight. And, of course, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And I want to give out our DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week right now. And I'm going to stay with tonight's game. I'm going to go Jokic, assists, rebounds, and points over 47.5. I think this is a 30-point game for Jokic, and then you only need 18 combined between assists and rebounds. I think he's going to get it.
The other night against the Bucks was probably the first time all season I've seen Jokic in kill mode.
Ooh.
Like, a lot of times
Yeah.
he can just coast his way to 35, 15, and 10.
Yeah.
But his stats didn't necessarily blow you away that night. But he went out there and was like, I'm winning this game against the Bucks, and they beat him by 23.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you just don't see many teams try to defend him one-on-one. The Bucks have Brook Lopez, who's, I think, the favorite to be Defense Player of the Year. At least he's right up there. So, like, we'll go one-on-one.
He was helpless.
Guess what happened? I know. That's why, like, there's a good chance the Warriors try to do the same thing on Saturday, and I'm hyped for that. They'll just put Draymond on him, and Jokic will just go for 40 or whatever. I just love Nikola Jokic.
That was crazy. Jokic was putting Brook Lopez's head in the net every time he backed him down.
Yep.
Just all the way under the basket,
Yep.
layup. Like, Brook affected a couple shots and made him miss a few, but it was crazy just the strength of Jokic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That was fun.
that was fun. Man, I had like butterflies for this game tonight.
I know, me too.
I put
don't
on
think
my
about all
Nugget
the-
shirt. I haven't put on my Nugget shoes.
Dang,
Now I'm
those are
thinking like,
nice.
ticket price is gonna fall. Just overpay, sit right behind the Sixers bench, talk a bunch of shit to Embiid all night. That might be the plan. Goal might be get kicked out.
Oh, man.
Don't do that, please.
I have so many things to tell him though.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else we got?
What's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is...
Nuggets -7? Keep it simple?
No, give me Joker triple-double tonight.
Like it. Like, what are the odds?
I will find out in a second, but I'm guessing right around -125.
That is just insane.
It is.
But he hasn't had one in a few games, so maybe
true.
we get better odds
Okay.
on that tonight.
That is possible.
Who are they going to defend him with?
It's a great question.
Even when they had you out.
Don't
I know they still didn't, but at least Joel was there with like help side. Okay, sorry, this is taking so long.
Can't
Player
find it right now.
combos,
Oh, there it is.
triple double +120. The juice. Let's go.
+120. There you go. And then if you combine that with the Nuggets win, I can't find those odds, but even better odds.
Yeah, for sure. James Harden triple double is actually +850. Could make sense because he's gonna be
playing.
he's gonna have the ball in his hands on every
Yeah,
possession.
very
He
true.
loves that. Let me just preface this by saying this bet isn't about making money, which I know might turn some people off. But I was going through last night, and because the Rockies start on Thursday, and what I really want is I don't want to go into Rockies games and think like, why the hell am I watching this? Like, this just makes me sad. I just need something. And so I think I found the perfect bet for exactly that. Actually, there's a few, but I picked one. $10 on the Rockies to have the longest winning streak in the majors. Pays a little over $1,500.
Why?
Because it's
Just take that $10 and light it on
because
fire.
at some point the Rockies might be 25-60, and you're sitting there like, oh, they are terrible. But if they win 3 games in a row, you're gonna be like, oh boy, this is a big one. Got to keep it going. It'll keep you engaged. The easier way.
There's no shot, dude. The team that is going to get like the 1 seed in one of these leagues is going to end up winning more than 10 games in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Usually it's right around 12. I think 12 gets you deeply in the conversation.
I will go on record saying there is a 0% chance the Rockies win 12 games in a row this
Well, hell, I'd want to cheer for the Rockies, and there's a 0.1% chance they make the playoffs according to Fangraphs, so I'm not betting on that.
0.1?
Yeah. No,
Oh
they're
my
terrible.
gosh.
If you want to be more conservative, it's also...
Why not just take the over on their wins? Then you're invested in every game.
Right.
Because I don't think they're going to win that many games.
Okay.
Like, I don't want that to be over.
Take
The
the
other way to
under?
do it is you take them to win just certain matchups. So you can bet on like the season series against the Padres. That's like 6-1. And they've won the season
They own
series.
the Padres.
Yeah, they've won the season series against them the last 2 years. They start the season, I think, with 4 games against them starting Thursday.
They always play good early.
Exactly. And like fluky things happen early. Maybe you get a lead. So I that's what I did. I took the divisional matchups. I was like, okay, it's all crazy plus money. I'll care about those. I'll care if they get on a run.
I like that you're keeping it interesting with the Rockies.
Yeah.
Giving something to look for.
I just bet the over every year and lose, but
Exactly.
half-
and I'm
by
not
like half a game,
and
right?
yeah.
And the other thing
back-to-back
is
years we lost by half a game.
like to do that, like to actually care. You bet $2 on it. Oh, cool! At the end of the year, $4 if they, like the even odds just doesn't entice me. I'm not willing to bet enough to care when it comes to the Rockies.
I have to put at least 2 units on any season-long bets, and if the odds are kind of even, it's probably got to be 4.
Exactly.
Just so it's like worth it to wait it out and,
Right.
and just like not be able to bet that money for
Right.
9 months.
and that's where you think I lit my $10 on fire. I think you might have just lit your $4 or 4 units on fire by betting that. Like I'll take the smaller bets and hope for something crazy.
Fair enough.
It's the Rockies. I can't pay more.
Well, I had already waved goodbye to my Jokic, like 100 units that are coming in if he wins MVP.
Yep.
I think they're coming back.
There we
Yep.
go. I love it. So great morning for you.
Yeah, it is. Just makes for one sad night.
Yeah, it's true. And that's our DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. Henry, people are talking about your style. They're loving your hat, your
Yep.
sweatshirt.
I've got my 3-4 hoodie rotation, my 2 hat rotation, throw in a no hat. I mean,
I got
I'm
this.
surprised this came in today. Again, going to the Nuggets game, a little
That's
old school
nice.
Nuggets hat. Also the back.
You're not going to be able to turn around.
No.
Oh, yep. Now we can't see you.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
okay.
This is awkward. Wow.
Yeah.
That was-
I hope you weren't looking at my butt.
That was the most awkward stance I've ever seen anyone
Yeah,
take.
Well, I had to
was.
squat
yeah.
to get in front. I don't squat often.
Yeah.
tell.
I actually was squatting today.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
My legs are burning.
Yeah.
My gym was closed today in honor of Cesar Chavez Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, new hoodie for me.
Oh,
Be a good person.
I like
Oh.
it. It's nice. And if you guys want to get dope apparel, check out our friends over at Foco.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got all sorts of stuff. They've got a whole bunch of Nuggets stuff. Redacted as compliment. Damn.
Wow.
Wow. But
he made
tough
sure
break,
you
dude.
knew about it too.
that is rough. All caps. Better get in that chat. But yeah, you can get Nuggets gear. You can get Broncos gear, Rockies gear. If you're into that, there's a whole bunch of different options. They have so many different things. They've got the clothes, they've got the bobbleheads, they've got just literally anything you could think of with the Broncos logo. This might be the most different options I've found of Broncos things anywhere. Like the team store doesn't come close. Like the selection is just incredibly massive at Foco. So definitely go check that out. They're a Colorado company. And if you use the code DNVR, you can get 10% off your purchase. It's an awesome deal. So go over to Foco, use the link in our description. Whether you're watching our YouTube podcast, it'll be right there for you.
There we go. Shall we get to some questions from the people?
Let's do it.
We got a super chat coming in, and it is from our friend Triple G. Says, "Sorry boys, I took Joel Embiid at plus 1,000 in the off season."
Apologize to your wallet. Your
Oh, yeah,
boy
that's
just
going to be rough.
dodged his way out of the MVP.
Wow, that's a
incredible.
rough day for our man.
And he was crying in that article.
I
That
know.
was- even that, I was like, man, this is soft. I hope Jokic cooks him tonight and just makes this look worse. Now, this is even worse
It
for
is even
Joel.
worse. And the crazy thing is, like, I was just liking all the Sixer fan tweets where they're like, hey, I mean, we just gotta be honest here. If anybody else was saying this, we'd be saying like, oh my God, this is soft, and like Joker lives rent free in Embiid's head. But the stuff that he was saying is insane.
Yes.
It's like somebody asked him like, do you feel any pressure to win? Because I mean they've been terrible in the playoffs. He's like, Well, I don't feel any pressure. You know, there's guys who won like 2 MVPs. Like, they're the ones who should be feeling the pressure to go win. Like, I don't feel any pressure. But just that sort of stuff over and over again. It's like, what are you doing?
Wow.
This is so sad.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Right.
Whiny. He's scared of competition.
It's crazy. I was actually like, I don't know. This was a horrible day for Joel Embiid. I was actually like getting to the point where I was like, you know what? Just give it to him. Whatever. Like, we'll move on. Wow. Championships are now more important for us. Now I'm just like, don't you dare give him the MVP.
You can't vote for him after this.
No way.
Wow.
Also, the like pretending to not care thing is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. While you're definitely caring.
Well, yeah, exactly. And let's go find the quotes from last year where he's like, I just don't know what I have to do to win MVP.
If they don't give it to me this year, they just don't like me. That's all I can say. And so, but then he got roasted for that, so he took the opposite approach.
Right.
And he just whined about it more.
Yep.
All the stuff he was saying is just insane.
Tough.
What happens if, can I even ask this? What happens if the Nuggets lose tonight? Then does that help Joel by not helping him but hurting Jokic?
It just hurts Jokic.
Yeah. Because, I mean, this morning, Jokic was at plus 180. Now he's at plus 135. If he puts up 40 and wins, I mean, everybody's watching. Sure. Everybody will post all the stats. The clips will be out there. I mean, he's going to be minus money, I think.
But the Nuggets need to win for it to be minus money.
But then if they lose, does he go back up to plus 150? Does he stick here? I don't know. I don't think there's very much movement if they lose. I think if he wins,
this game was going to decide the MVP race.
There was a good chance.
It was.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
That is so soft.
All right.
Comments on the website. Nash Bronco says, so we aren't trading, quote, those two players, despite reports back and forth. Thank goodness. I don't understand the desire to make that room worse in exchange for draft capital. Also, just got my first DNVR hoodie using my diehard discount, and I can't wait for it to come in. I love it. Something along these lines that I'm not sure we talked about with Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. If the Broncos trade them, let's say they get a first for Jerry, are they really going in the draft and drafting a receiver? Because Sean Payton today multiple times said just how weak this receiver class is. He said just the depth isn't there. So maybe Sean could turn around and say, okay, after this guy, the draft fell off for receivers, but he didn't really sell it as they're going to get a first for Jerry and then flip it on a receiver.
That's the tough part, though, was like your passing offense, horrible last year. Horrible. I mean, we all saw it. I'm not sure if it was the worst in the league. It would have been right up there, though.
Some may say hard to watch.
Sean Payton would, and I would say that's an understatement.
Unwatchable.
Unwatchable is probably better. But it's tough to sell me on the idea of the passing offense was terrible. Let's make it worse. Yeah. Like, let's decrease the talent.
Yeah, for sure.
And for me,
and if you were going to get like Quentin Johnson or something, like,
there you go.
That fires me up. Go get him. But you're not, because he's probably going to go in the 10 area.
Yep.
And then who's after that?
Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm not sure if he's 2, but he's 6.
He's actually the favorite to be drafted.
Really? I mean,
first
he should be.
receiver drafted. Yeah.
So
he's basically Jerry Jeudy.
That's what I was just going to say.
Wow, yeah.
Like, he's a wiggly, route running, shifty receiver.
Yep. Maybe even just a little faster.
If you couldn't get Njigba, then I don't see the point. Or Johnston.
Right. And so if you're getting the 25th overall pick, you're probably projecting both of those guys to be gone by then. And then to me, so if you're not using it on a receiver, then absolutely, Henry, you're making your passing game worse, which is a really tough pill to swallow right now.
Unless you use it on the top center in the class.
Well, and then so that's it. What other positions are there where the Broncos would use a first-round pick to significantally upgrade? Center would be one that you could do, and he better be really
running
good.
Back.
Potentially running back. But just how many other positions are there that are like that? But, man, would you trade Jerry Jeudy for...
Bijan Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He is pretty sick. I mean,
the thing is, it all just comes back to Javonte.
Right.
The Broncos didn't really tell us anything about Javonte by picking up Samaje Perine, other than I think it was more positive, right? When they go after Samaje Perine in free agency instead of, let's say, like Miles Sanders or someone like that,
right?
That tells you, okay, they are somewhat optimistic about Javonte. That's good. But Bijan Robinson, I think, is like...
He is your offense.
Dalvin Cook or like more.
Yeah. I mean... I guess we don't know. I haven't seen where he's getting drafted, but I mean, he's talked about as like one of the 5 best players.
Yeah. I think some people have said number 1. Like he's the number 1 best player in the draft,
and then that means you're getting into like Saquon type territory.
Yeah,
as a prospect. As a prospect.
He met with the
But
Eagles.
Dalvin Cook's better than Saquon.
No, he isn't. No, he definitely is not.
What are we talking
Bijan met with the Eagles. They had him in for a team visit. Could you imagine him in Philadelphia?
Oh, my God.
And the Eagles have, what, the 11th pick or something like that because of trades with New Orleans. So they
Wow.
could legitimately get him.
That is terrifying.
And then you pair him not just with Jalen Hurts, but that offensive line, and then A.J. Brown. Oh, my god!
And they kept the offensive line together. Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
Sam Allo.
No, they kept him.
They kept him too?
Yeah, I believe he only came in at $8 million per year.
Or was
And
he
then they gave
Steelers?
Lane Johnson $30 million?
I almost thought Samuel went to the Steelers.
Did he? Oh,
I could be-
maybe I got him confused then.
It's
They
possible.
kept Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey.
And Lane Johnson got like the 1 year, $33 million extension.
Yeah, what's up? Was that just a cap thing, or is
I
he
think
actually
that-
getting $33 million?
I
I
have
think
no idea.
that might be legit. Yeah, Steelers got Sayamalu.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But, I mean, the way people talked about him when he hit free agency, and also I can't remember what the number was, I almost think he was not valued nearly as much as I thought he would be.
Yeah, no, he was. I mean, he came in at
Yeah.
$8 million, and
yeah.
Ben Powers was 13.
It's injuries, though. He's
there
always
is
dealt with
injuries.
injuries.
There is
Really
that.
quick, speaking of injuries and Javonte, George Payton to some Denver media, Parco Gabriel's putting this out about Javonte. He said if he'll be ready for the start of the season. George Payton said, we'll have to see. He's got a long way to go. He's made great strides, but we won't know that for a while. That's notable because the last time we talked to George Payton, he
Said he was
said
optimistic or
yeah,
something?
he was a lot more positive and optimistic about it. So now he's kind of coming off of that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way.
There's
just no way he could be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah.
I'm like 50-50 on will he play at all this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was like this weird kind of momentum for he's going to be ready for the start of the season. And like that was like one of the top comments in our little feud with Melvin was like, I came back and
Yeah.
said, whoa,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not going to, he might not even play this year. And people were like, George Payton said he's going to be ready for the start of the season. I'm like, it's not, there's just no way.
And it just goes back to what we had our conversation with Terrell Davis. He said, you got to be 100% to fully come back to these. Javonte's still so young. In this year, when you're not Super Bowl or bust, why would you rush him out there? It does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
And
So-
I mean that with the greatest respect for Javonte because of the player he can be if he's healthy.
100%.
The flip side, though, I mean, he only has 2 years left on the contract. And again, most people say you don't give a second contract to a running back if you're kind of punting on half of his value right now. And there's good reason to do it. You're kind of investing in the second year of it. But, that would be the case for just saying, get out there and go.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want it on your resume that you ruined a dude's career by rushing him back from the most serious knee injury.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a terrible thing to do to Javonte.
Yes.
Football's a rough league.
Chiefs fans, tough look for them right now. You guys heard of the
Love
bank
this.
robbing Chiefs fan?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Here's an update. He has now cut off his ankle bracelet and is on the run. Oh man, Henry, that's tough for your community.
That's not. I hate that community.
The bank robbing community.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
the ankle bracelet.
I have some
community.
ties to the bank robbing community, but not to the Chiefs. We hate
Probably
the Chiefs.
everyone in Montana has connections to that, right?
Some more than others. Like there's like people who are up there just because we're nature. There's hippies. There's a big
Yeah.
hippie community,
Yeah.
for example. They're
course.
the opposite. There are some.
I bet Bill Walton has a house in Montana.
Oh, definitely.
I actually don't know.
You know everyone who's got a property.
I mean, you
up
hear.
there.
I mean, there's like the 20 people who are like, rich, famous.
Yep.
You live right there.
Bill Belichick.
No Bill Belichick.
Phil
There's
Jackson.
Phil Jackson. Yep. Phil Jackson. Yep. He's like 20 minutes from me. Drew Bledsoe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The guy who owns the Warriors, he's
Yeah.
up there. The guy who designed the Google logo,
Really?
he's like 20 minutes away because apparently they didn't just pay him up front. They didn't say like we're paying for the. He
Give
got
him
like
stock.
steak.
Wow.
Yeah, just for designing the logo.
Yikes.
There's like a weird number of those people.
Wow. That's
Yep.
cool.
There you go.
Brock
Why were we
Osweiler?
talking about that? Oh, bank robbers.
Bank robbers, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's the funny thing is like that was already my unfair view of all Chiefs fans.
Yep.
Now their number one fan
Yeah.
has just been
Yeah.
exposed as a bad person.
It's
Wow.
so true. Yeah, because he was their guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine
He
if
was
like
like
Barrel
their
Man
Barrel
got
Man,
busted.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And you found out that's how the barrel was being funded this whole time was through bank robbing.
Gosh.
Wow. Next one from the count. He says, I will trade 3 blind crabs for 2 without teeth. DMs are open. Love the count.
3 blind crabs, 2 without teeth. So the surprising me, so I would think that the pinchers, I wouldn't even care about the teeth. That's not what you're
True.
scared of with a crab.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the pinchers.
But I mean, blind crabs are never getting their pinchers on you.
That's a good point.
Then I guess now we understand why this makes sense.
Does this make sense?
I don't think it makes any
I
sense.
don't think so. Either.
No, I think I'm on the same page.
I love crab, man.
I haven't eaten
soft
yeah.
shelled.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never
Soft
actually
shell
had
crab
that.
is my favorite type of crab.
Really, that just confuses me. You eat the shell?
But it's
Yeah,
soft.
soft.
How soft?
Like you don't
Soft enough to
you don't
crunch.
like taste that. Is there a crunch?
Yeah, there's a crunch.
Okay.
Huh?
I've only had one in my life.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
good. It
I'd be
is
down.
so
I
fucking
mean,
good.
obviously, nobody's
Um,
saying no to that.
But I think I told you guys when I went to Hop Alley the other day, they make
What'd you do to Allie?
no. The restaurant Hop Alley, they have a crab dish there. There they just bring you a whole Dungeness crab that's like this big,
Damn.
and I've been thinking about it ever since. And that was on my birthday, so that was
Ooh.
almost
Yeah.
a month ago.
Is Dungeness mean just big?
That's just a type of crab.
But it's big?
This
or that one was?
That particular one was. Yes.
It's no king crab.
Man.
It's not a king crab. I would say better.
Really, the king crab, like to me, that's just like traditional crab. Like you're going big time with crab, that's the move. I did last summer have my first like whole lobster, where they just kind of like split the thing down the middle and you just eat out the insides.
Wow.
Incredible,
Yeah, lobster slaps.
famously, yeah.
Except
So-
that it's related to cockroach.
What?
That makes it tougher to eat.
No,
Who cares?
it doesn't
First
make
of all,
it.
that makes no sense. Second of all, no one cares.
The only
I
thing
think
that,
you're cared a
no.
little bit.
No,
He had my back, yeah.
it doesn't make lobster tougher to eat. It makes cockroach easier to eat.
Oh, good take. Good take.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
there we go.
No,
Yeah,
I-
he
Why are
doesn't
they
think I'm
related?
dumb.
I don't know.
No,
just
it's
same-
probably like through marriage.
Same family.
Family, genus, or
Yeah,
species?
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
family, genus, or species.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
No, but
Just
again-
There's just no way that cockroaches have delicious meat in their tail.
No, because they don't live in salt water. They aren't all salty.
Just brined up and ready
Oh,
to go.
I never thought about how that, could help.
That could don't like write that in like your book report or anything. Or out there, like if you're like taking a science class, don't write that.
Don't honestly write anything we've ever said in your
No,
book report.
There've been a
Exactly.
couple smart things we've said.
We have a book report right here, though, coming in from Drew Peacock. Our last comment says, I've realized that the Russell Wilson trade may be the universe's way of balancing out the spoil of riches we received from the Duchesne trade. Sorry, I was thinking of Broncos, and I couldn't wrap my mind around that one. Let's dive in. A talented but disgruntled star gets traded to a team that's thought to be one piece away. The trade package includes 7 pieces, 3 players and 4 picks. The players include a former first rounder, a former second rounder, and a veteran who would only stay around for 1 season. The 4 draft picks received were highlighted by a first round pick that would go on to become a top 5 selection following a disappointing and shocking season. The top 5 selection would give the team who traded their star player a chance at drafting a bona fide stud defensive player, Bo Byram and Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. Following the catastrophic trade, Duchesne would go on to play less than 2 years in Ottawa before being dealt again. Will Russell Wilson have similar fortunes? For the record, I think Russ bounces back and has a good year, but their dramatic parallels are certainly interesting. That was a book report.
That was a book
That
report.
was impressive.
That was a good one.
And I didn't like it. I mean,
no.
it was on point, but I didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, I just kind of have to forget about that top 5 pick.
Yep.
Come and gone. I don't even remember who
exactly.
it was.
Exactly.
Well, it hasn't happened yet. That's why.
see how gone it is?
That's exactly, that was the whole point.
That was good.
Yeah.
And then they had what, number 9 last year?
Um,
Charles Leno?
yes.
that is who that was. No.
They got a tackle.
Charles Leno's
Charles
old.
Cross.
Yes.
Oh, Charles
Yeah,
Cross.
yeah,
Charles Cross. Close enough.
I know.
Who was good?
He
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, I'm sure
As
he was.
you'd expect from a top 10 tackle.
I saw a mock draft that had the Packers taking a wide receiver in the first round this year, and I just thought, wouldn't that just be something? They
That
trade
would
Aaron
be.
Rodgers, and the first year they trade him, they get a wide receiver. But what made me think of that is Russell Wilson wanted offensive line help for so long, and then the year he leaves, they invested top 10 pick in offensive line.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you do that to these veteran quarterbacks?
I have no idea.
You don't give them
Super
what they
weird.
want, and then right when they leave, you're like, let's do exactly what they wanted.
I started like a little draft prep last night. I was starting to look at like prospects who might go in the second or third round, and then I was like, oh, I should look at my guy who I have in the Madden League, who's about to go for 3,000 receiving yards, Anais Smith. Is actually
That
how
is
I pronounce
insane.
it. And I started watching his tape, and I got really excited about him, and then I found out he went back for a 5th year.
Oh, no.
That was really sad.
Next year.
He would be so sick in this offense. He's
He
like a
would.
running back, wide receiver hybrid,
Yep.
kind of like doing the Debo thing
Yep.
for Texas A&M.
Yep.
And I was getting, it was like, he's like a 3rd round projection. I'm like, this is perfect.
Yep. That would have been sick.
Who was that last year out of Arkansas, 1st round pick by the Titans? Burks.
Oh, yeah. Trey
Oh,
Burks.
He
yeah.
was kind of supposed to be that.
Yeah, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't that.
No.
Yeah.
And then they lost A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
went to the Super Bowl.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. The one guy who I know I would love if they picked him with one of those 3rd round picks is Steve Avila from TCU.
Ooh, tell me more.
He's like a 335-pound center. Just
Absolutely
like
love that TCU's losing a good player.
True. But like tests in ridiculous ways, like just insanely strong. Split his time. I think he played center last year, and then this year played guard because they got a center from the portal. But it seems like everybody's kind of pointing to him as a center. I know of nobody else who I just love right there. I know there's like that Tipman guy who's also a center, but Avila seems like a
What
freak.
about John Michael Schmitz?
Yeah, he's another one who like his name is out there. I don't know shit about him.
You want to know something about Avila though?
I
He's
do.
also on my Madden team.
There you go.
Oh.
Sean Payton has maybe a little inside connection. His son
That's
works
right.
for TCU.
Of course.
Yes.
in the personnel department. So maybe there's a tiny bit of insight there.
There
Hopefully it's not
probably
a
is.
Mickey Joseph situation.
Oh yeah, no,
So
that
true.
would be. Do you think you would get better advice from your brother or from your son?
Brother has more experience.
Right.
Son might just be like, "Oh, this kid's sick." Like,
Yeah.
he's
Gets caught up in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Remember
that.
we always talked about how, Mickey recommended Carlos Henderson.
Yeah.
That was his name, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
To Vance Joseph. And I've believed that for this entire time.
Yep.
And then within the last 6 months, someone told me that Mickey Joseph explicitly told Vance not to take him.
No way.
So
How
I don't know
could
what to
you
believe.
do
I don't know what to
that
believe.
then? If my brother told me like stay away from this guy,
Yeah.
and he knows it, he's just his head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing
Imagine
is,
you
like,
tell your buddy, like, don't date this girl.
Right.
Just trust me on this one. And then they do it, and you just watch the whole thing crash and burn, and you're just like,
yeah.
what the hell, dude? I tried to
Obviously.
warn you.
The thing is, though, like,
man.
after they draft somebody with a Mickey Joseph connection, the only thing you can say is, yeah, Mickey said he was going to be good. Because if you say, like, oh, Mickey was kind of like up in the air, like, you're not going to say that.
Man, I
So
was
it does
so
kinda
hyped
make
about
sense.
Carlos Henderson.
Or Mickey wants it out there saving
a
face.
nice Smith style player.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the potential of Carlos Henderson.
He's probably killing it for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Is he playing?
I have no
Oh
idea.
yeah. I don't know either.
He literally, I think, like, led the nation in broken tackles by a receiver, like
Yep.
Debo Samuel style.
And I
like-
think he also either had like the first or second most yards per catch. It was like 22 and a half or something.
And the highlights were sick.
He was a monster.
Breaking tackles.
Isn't he kind of tearing up? No, Cody Latimer's tearing up the whatever league is playing now.
The
the XFL.
Is it XFL? I think it is XFL right now, isn't it?
Yeah. It might be here to stay. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
but-
can't do
yeah.
it. I just can't.
No,
just
I
can't
can't
care.
either. But if there's anyone that can like lead it, it's The Rock.
Yeah, it's true. Even like college basketball, which I love and I enjoy a lot. The other night, we had the Nuggets on a couple screens and March Madness on a couple other screens, and I was like, this is making it really hard for me to enjoy this college basketball.
Yeah. You said Nuggets play the Warriors on Saturday.
I think that's
So that's
Saturday.
gonna be
Yep.
another decision then. College basketball, Final Four, or Nuggets.
That's gonna
Both at the bar.
Yeah, there you go.
That's gonna be a wild night. Girlfriend has friends in town, so that means we have
You guys,
to go.
like, just perpetually have friends in
Hey,
town.
you really have a lot of
It's-
friends.
I think the
in
thing
town.
is, like, we're not from here. And so all of the friends are from other places. Like you have a whole bunch of friends in town.
Yeah, always.
All of them. But then like when our friends come to town, it's like, oh yeah, you don't go to a lot of games. So it's like we had to go to the Bucks game on Saturday, 76ers tonight, Warriors on Saturday. Luckily tonight is going to be a little bit cheaper, but it was $122 to get the very last row in the stadium on Saturday. Very last row, like back up against the wall. Those are the cheapest.
That's tough.
But it's also kind of sick in a way. Go
RIP,
Nuggets.
in we go. I miss it so much.
Wasn't that
man.
nice? Also, Cody
Little bit.
Latimer through 3 games, second in the XFL in receiving yards, 395.
Wow.
Yeah. Josh Gordon is sitting there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th.
Cody Latimer better than Josh Gordon.
Just like we all
How
said.
about that?
All right. Are we good?
We're good. We
Yeah.
hit
Wrapped?
it all.
We
Yeah.
hit everything. I have like a few minutes before my next show. I'm just going to go whatever the opposite of doom scrolling is. I'm just going to go read so many tweets about Joel Embiid dodging Nikola Jokic
He's just scared.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
You saw Nikola lock up Giannis. There's
True.
like 5 possessions where Nikola got onto Giannis. Giannis just couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Giannis, like, I totally understand his value. In that game, it was not there.
No. There were
No.
there were the times when like they just leave him. Oh, when
Yeah.
you leave him, he'll cut and score. But it was crazy. Like it's like, oh, they got Jokic onto Giannis. What's gonna happen? Oh, Jokic is just gonna shut him down because he can't get pushed around.
Or even like AG was just like,
Yeah.
stay in front of him, don't let him dunk, and he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, make a jump shot. Have fun. Good luck with
I
that.
honestly think he made one shot outside of the paint in that game.
Yeah.
Dang. Dominant.
And he can, like, we've seen games where he hit like 3 threes in a row,
Yeah.
and like that just
Right.
ends the other team.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
But that game was crazy. Like the Nuggets really clamped them, especially in the fourth quarter, which they have the best fourth quarter defense or clutch time defense, which is inside
Yep.
5 minutes in close games.
If you're gonna choose a 5-minute period to have good defense, it's right then.
Yeah, dude, I think it's the funniest thing that people always think you're the one singing the songs.
Should I take us out? You guys strum up the guitars?
Yeah, I wish if I had it, we would do a little Cottonwood Mile cover.
Wow.
It is not me singing the song at the end. I'm honored that you think it's me, though.
Well, they've never been seen in the same room together. The one time
Very true.
was
not here.
Pleasure Horse was on the show, Zach wasn't here.
And as Ryan said, it's Pleasure Horse, and they not only have Cottonwood Mile, but they have bangers.
Bangers.
So check them out. The Pleasure Horse. They're a fan of our program. We're a fan of theirs.
We are. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. We will see you guys tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.